The outer man is constantly dying to this ability to fend for oneself. The outer man is always dying to wanting to explain yourself to another. Self-validate. Self-promote. Self-preserve. Everything to do with self is the outer man that is to be reckoned dead. And so Paul here in 2 Corinthians 4:16 says, therefore, we do not lose heart in the midst of this great death of reasoning. Even though the outer man is perishing, yet the inward man is being renewed day by day, being transformed, learning to trust God. Is being renewed from glory to glory, transformed, metamorphosis, walking as a new creation before God and not as a mere man. Yet the inward man is being renewed day by day for our light afflictions. Although here in chapter 1, in the same letter, he's saying these afflictions that were beyond measure, above strength, that even led him to despair of life, he calls them light. In light of the glory of God. In light of what God is doing in our life. I'll finish here this portion in chapter 4 and I'll go back to chapter 1. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment. It was but for a moment that came to an end so that Paul could write about that moment. To say that in that hard moment, as we partook of those sufferings, and I'm going back to chapter 1, verse 7 now. We also partook of his consolation. Back to chapter 4, verse 17. For our light afflictions, which is but for a moment, is working for us. It is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, while we do not look at these things which are seen, that which was beyond measure, while not looking at that thing which was above their strength to bear in the natural, while not looking at that circumstance that brought forth such a desperation even of life. That is the Christ life. We have been endued with the power to not behold the accursed that is of this world. The fallen moment of humanity, that man was born to adversity, as the word says, in the natural. But we now are not of the natural anymore. We are of the supernatural. An imposition of the kingdom of heaven through me on the natural circumstance. And so my gaze is not that which is passing, the natural circumstance. My gaze is not to be on that which is really supposed to be a light moment. But my gaze is to be on the one who's called me in this forward press of faith. And that's what verse 18, Paul stated so clearly. While we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal.